Making friends seems like a really hard, unknown concept that people think will be difficult in the short term, and once they actually start doing it, it becomes really easy in the long term. And there's 6 ways to make people like you. And these are all ways from the book How to Win Friends and Influence People. I'll put it in the first link in the description, whatever the YouTubers say. It'll be somewhere down there. You'll be able to click on the link and then go find the book. But these concepts I'm going to explain to you in this video are all from that book. And there's 6 ways to make people like you. And I'll read them out right now and go into a bit of detail on each of them. So the 6 ways. Number 1 is to genuinely be interested in the other person. Number 2 is to smile. You see, smiling. Number 3 is to remember that a person's name is the sweetest and nicest sound that they can hear in any language. Number 4 is to be a good listener, encourage others to talk about themselves. Number 5 is to talk in terms of the other person's interests. And number 6 is to make the other person feel important and do it sincerely. Okay? So those are 6 ways to make people like you. And I'm going to go explain them in order. Number 1, right? We'll start with the easiest one. I think this is the most important one out of all the 6. No wonder it's number 1. So the most important one is to genuinely be interested in people. You see, this is against your conventional idea of, oh, I need to be interesting so people respect me and then they will talk to me and they'll get, yeah. No. That's not what you're trying to do when you're trying to make friends. Okay? What you're trying to do is actually be interested in the other people. You can make more friends in 2 months by being interested in other people than you can in 2 years by trying to get people interested in you. There was a New York telephone company that did a test to see what was the most used word on their telephone calls. And you guessed it, it was I. The personal pronoun I. It was the one that was used most times. It was used 3,900 times in 500 telephone calls. Another way to see how this concept works. When a group picture is taken, who do you look at first? It's yourself, isn't it? It's because you are more interested in yourself than you are in other people. So you need to apply that concept when you're trying to make friends and get people to like you into other people. So when you're talking to them, they're going to be more interested about talking to themselves than they would be talking about your life. They're not going to say that straight up because it's rude and it's unconventional to say something like that. But that is genuinely what they want, and they will talk about themselves for hours and hours on end. And it bleeds into the other points about being a good listener and such. And I'll connect them in a second after I explain this point a bit more. By being genuinely interested in people, you can do little things that can make people feel important. And little things such as remembering birthdays, that can make people feel important. And it's things like that that can make people like you. It's about being genuinely interested in them. You can't fake interest. So if someone says something that springs a conversation, you need to ask questions. This. It's like, oh, I went to so-and-so in the half term. Okay. Oh, why'd you go there? Where'd you go? Where'd you stay? What did you do? What kind of activities did you do? How was that? Oh my god, I've been really planning to go there. And all these sort of things can push the conversation further. And that's how you have a good conversation, by the way. To have a good conversation, you just have to be a good listener. You don't actually have to say much, you just have to listen. And if you listen, then that's a good conversation because the other person is just talking about themselves. And they will enjoy that conversation. You enjoy it because you have something to learn. The most important thing that I take, especially from the book and my own knowledge in itself, is that there's always someone out there who knows something that you don't. There's always someone out there, no matter who it is, whoever you meet, the next person you see today, the next person you talk to, he knows something that you don't. He or she knows something that you don't. That you could apply to your life. Everyone. Genuinely. So if you take that mindset when it comes to talking to people, you're going to be interested in them because they might tell you something that could help you in your life. And if you don't go talk to people, and if you're not interested in them, then you won't get that opportunity. So that's one, right? Be genuinely interested in people. And that kind of resonates in all the other aspects. Well, the 6 ways. Number 2 is to smile, right? Number 2 is to just smile. And the reason you have to smile, right, is that a smile tells a lot more than a frown does. A smile says, "Oh, I like you, I'm happy to see you, and I'm so glad that you're here." Whereas a frown, it could mean anything, and you could have the most expensive clothes on, the most expensive jewelry, but if you have a frown on your face, people aren't gonna like you. They're gonna think you're selfish and scour, and you don't want that. It's that people will spend so much time choosing the clothes that they wear to look all this fabulous and stunning, and they won't wear the right expression on their face to get people to like them. You see, there's a lot of contradictory things that people do in human nature, but smiling is something that we just refuse to do, even though that's the thing that gets people to like us. It's not the clothes that we wear, it's not the jewelry that we wear, it's not the actions that we do. It's how we come across to other people, and that's a great way to make a good first impression. If you want to make friends, let's greet people with animation and enthusiasm. When you see them, when you shake their hand, don't make it a dull shake. Be happy to see them. Shake their hand. Pat their back. Be happy. And that can make people like you. It's just about being excited to see them. And you become a much more likable person that way. But keep in mind, when you're smiling, no one wants to see an insecure grin. No one wants to see a fake smile. Because we can tell. Humans are able to smell that from a mile away. We want something genuine. And if you're smiling insecurely and you're faking your smiles, we're going to resent you more, if anything. It's not like what our opinions of you will stay the same. If you're trying to put a good impression and you're faking a smile, we're not going to like you. That's just how human nature works, and we can smell it. We can smell ingenuity from a mile away. So remember, be real with your smile. Don't fake it. And if you want to be real with your smile, think about something that's made you happy. Think about that something that's made you enthusiastic. That's going to get you smiling. And then that's going to get you feeling better about the environment that you're in. And then that's how you make a good first impression. Alright, number 3 is that so why don't you apply that to your conversations? In the middle of conversation, say their name. When you're complimenting them, say their name. Make sure they know that this is the conversation between you and them, and that it's not a conversation that you're having with any other random person. You have to make them feel important, make them feel valued, make them feel like you're actually focused and present in the conversation that you're having. If you hear your name, you get happy, you get excited, because it gives you importance. And that's what humans crave. Humans crave importance and value. And by saying someone's name, you create a sense of that, a taste of importance. And that's going to make people happy to see you. It's going to make people smile when they see you, when you say their name. So remember, this is a small one, it's a simple one. Just say the person's name. And if you say the person's name, and you see them turn around, and you start smiling at them, you're going to see that they're going to smile at you back. It's simple, alright? Keep that in mind. Say the person's name. Don't act like it's another robotic conversation. Interest in people, smile, say the person's name. Okay? By the way, bro, if you're new, my name is Vanch, and I upload 2-3 videos a day of self-improvement habits, good habits, bad habits, and so on. So scroll down, click on the subscribe and post notifications so you can see more videos like this, and I can teach you to improve yourself. It's a win-win for both of us. Go on, scroll down, click subscribe, post notification. Number 4, as I said, is going to spiral back, because this is to be a good listener and to encourage people to talk about themselves. So this spirals back to the first point, is that what you notice is that a good conversation isn't a lot of talking from both sides. It's actually talking from one side and a good listener. That's what a good conversation is. So if you're trying to get people to like you and say that you're a good conversationist, just listen to what they have to say. They say something, or if you say something, they say something, you ask a question. They say something, you say something on your side, then you ask a question. Keep listening to their stories. Keep taking in what they're telling you. Don't let it go in one end and out the other. Actually focus and be interested. Sit at the edge of your seat and be focused on the conversation and listen. And listen properly. Understand what it is that they're saying and see what they're trying to tell you. See what kind of story they're trying to present to you. Everyone has a unique life. Everyone has a unique set of experiences, and there could be something in there, a lesson that you can learn that you can apply to your own life. And if there isn't, even if there isn't, you're a good conversationalist because you're a good listener. You're listening to them. They're going to like you. They're going to tell other people about you. They're going to tell other people that you're so good at talking. You're this, you're that. It's about setting a good impression. That's how you make people like you. That's how you make friends. So there you go. That's the fourth point. Be a good listener. Encourage people to talk about themselves. So there we go. We have our 4 sets of points for the start. We got genuinely be interested in people. We got smile. We got say a person's name. And we got 4, be a good listener. Now 5, you got to talk in terms of the other person's experiences or interests, right? Say someone says something to you in conversation where they're talking about the place that they've been or this kind of watch that they've bought. You've got to talk about those things. You've got to talk about their interests. Say they're interested in baseball, basketball, football. Talk about those things. You ask questions about those things. And it could be that you're meeting a person for the first time, right? And it could be as simple as asking a friend of that friend that you already know, what kind of person are they? What are they interested in? And this and this and this. And just learn a couple of things. If that's an important conversation to you and you want them to like you, then learn these things. Learn simple things about them. Say they're interested in football. You're sitting down, you're having a conversation. Ask them about their favourite football team. Ask them if they play football. Ask them if they play these sports. So. And then you have a conversation about sports, this, that. There you go. It's a flow. And it works. And it avoids you from having awkward conversation because you're talking about them. And they're going to want to talk about them. And it's constant flow of chatter. And it works. You got to talk in terms of interest. And say you don't learn anything about them and you're meeting them for the first time. Look on their person. See what's interesting about them. They have a nice watch on, ask where the watch is from. How did they get it? Who got it for them? Did they get it for themselves? Where did they get the money for that? And all that kind of things. It's like you can reach an entire conversation through that. Notice on a person's character anything interesting that you'd like to talk about. Or, in advance, if you know you're going to talk to them, learn something about them in advance and talk to them about it in person. And that can make you seem like such a better conversationalist and come across with a better impression. So that's 5, talk in terms of the other person's interests. Now 6, the final one, is to make the other person feel important and do it sincerely. You don't want to make them feel important through talking about them in a negative way and making them have this massive reputation. No, not that kind of importance. We're talking about importance in the sense that you're giving them value. They seem like they're valuable to you. They feel like that they're important to you. And the way you do that is by little things. By little actions. If you go out your way to do unselfish, nice, kind activities for this person that give you no reward, that brings a sense of importance. So we should go out our way to do things that are unselfish for other people, because that gives us a good impression, makes us a better person, and gives that other person importance and value. And it makes them think better about us. And then they are going to like you because you were interested in them. You showed that they were important. You showed that they had value. And then that's how you make friends. Because they feel all these things when they're talking to you. And they're going to come back to talk to you because humans crave importance and value. And you're giving them that through simply doing things for them. Unselfishly, by simply talking about them, unselfishly, by actually being interested in them, by actually complimenting them. Complimenting someone is genuinely one of the best things that I've started doing. You see someone wear a certain piece of clothing and you think that they look good in it, say it. You see someone with a nice smile, say it. You say someone's looking bigger from going to the gym, say it. It's going to make them feel better about themselves. It's going to make you feel better because you've complimented them. I bet you've noticed that when you do compliment people, you feel great. Because they feel great. They'll smile at you. And eventually they'll compliment you back. I had this time where I went to a party and my one goal was to implement this one principle of complimenting people and smiling. When I went to that party, as soon as I saw people, I would compliment their clothing. Oh, you look great in this, man. Honestly, oh, you're looking good, bro. All this kind of stuff. And eventually, people started walking around saying that I was looking good. It was it was a whole circle. And what you realize is that the more that you make people feel important, the more that they'll make you feel important, because you become comfortable around each other. And all these 6 aspects of how to make people like you is genuinely going to skyrocket your social experiences, and it's actually going to make you get better, high quality friends and become a better conversationalist and become more liked by the people around you. All this is incredibly useful, and I've hoped it's been valuable, and I'm hoping you can apply these things into your real life and see if you can get results and actually make friends that way. So do apply these principles into your real life, and tell me down in the comments what you think and whether it worked or whether it didn't work. And if it didn't work, tell me, and I can see if I can help you to try these concepts in your life. So I'm glad that you watched. Go get it.